Most people think billionaires are simply lucky, brilliant, or born with something the rest of the world never had. But the truth is far stranger. Billionaires do not think like ordinary people, not because they are smarter, but because they read differently. They consume books that reshape their judgment, books that reveal uncomfortable truths about power, books that ordinary people might misunderstand or fear. These are not motivational books, not productivity hacks, not mainstream bestsellers. These are the books they read quietly, privately, because the knowledge inside them is too sharp, too strategic, too revealing to share with everyone. Today, in this episode of Sethtra Books, we open the hidden library of the elite and reveal 10 books that shape billionaire thinking behind closed doors. The first book is The Sovereign Individual. This book predicts the future with terrifying accuracy: the rise of digital currency, the death of old governments, the collapse of inefficient systems, and the emergence of people who no longer depend on nations to survive. Billionaires do not just read this, they build companies, technologies, and strategies based on it. It teaches them how to escape taxes, escape outdated systems, escape control, and position themselves as sovereign in a world full of uncertainty. That is why they never recommend it publicly. It is a manual for future dominance. The second is The Psychology of Human Misjudgment by Charlie Munger. Most people never read this because it is not a traditional book. It is a rare collection of speeches. But to billionaires, it is a weapon. It teaches the 25 biases that control human behavior, the traps that make people predictable, and the tricks that allow great investors to see clearly while everyone else makes emotional mistakes. Billionaires study this book the way chess masters study openings. It lets them read human nature like a map. The third book is The Power Broker by Robert Caro. Most people think power comes from money. This book destroys that illusion. It reveals how real power is built through networks, patience, political leverage, favors, influence, and a mastery of timing. Billionaires read this privately because it teaches a truth too raw for public conversation. Power belongs to those who understand how to bend systems quietly. Wealth is only one tool. Knowledge is the real weapon. The fourth book is Poor Charlie's Almanac. This book is not rare, but billionaires never talk about what they truly learn from it. It is not about finance. It is about mental models, the way the world actually works, and the way winners think differently from everyone else. Inside this book are mental tools that help them avoid stupidity, stay rational under chaos, and make decisions with unusual clarity. Billionaires do not share this book because it gives too much advantage to anyone who studies it deeply. The fifth book is The Evolution of Cooperation. It sounds academic, but it's actually one of the most powerful books on human strategy ever written. It reveals why people betray, why alliances form, why trust collapses, and why some people win by being unpredictable, while others win by being consistent. Billionaires use this book to understand competitors, partners, employees, and even countries. It is a guide to the invisible rules that govern loyalty and betrayal. The sixth book is The Prince, not the version you see in school, but the annotated elite edition read by strategists. This book is misunderstood by the masses, but loved by those who play on the highest levels of business and politics. It teaches how leaders maintain power, how they manipulate perception, how they reward, punish, deceive, and inspire. Billionaires never recommend this book publicly, because if everyone understood it, the elite would lose their advantage. The seventh book is The Misbehavior of Markets by Benoit Mandelbrot. This book explains something almost no one understands. Markets are not logical, straight lines. They are fractal, chaotic, violent, and emotional. Billionaires use this book to prepare for shocks, crashes, and opportunities that normal people never see coming. It teaches them that massive gains come from rare moments, and that being ready is more important than being perfect. The 8th book is The Systems Bible by John Gall. This book looks strange and messy, but it reveals a truth every powerful person eventually learns. Systems break, fail, collapse, and behave unpredictably. Billionaires read this because it teaches them how to navigate bureaucracy, build companies, avoid system traps, and design structures that survive chaos. It is an instruction manual for understanding the hidden flaws inside every organization. The 9th book is The 5th Risk by Michael Lewis. On the surface, it is about politics. But deeper, it teaches billionaires how fragile countries actually are, how risk is hidden inside government departments, how uncertainty can collapse nations, and why leadership matters more than people realize. This book gives billionaires insight into how global systems can fail, and how they can protect themselves long before the public notices anything. And the 10th book is The Changing World Order by Ray Dalio, the Unfiltered Principles Edition. This book is a map of the world's future. How empires rise, how empires fall, how wealth moves, how war begins, and how economic cycles repeat. Billionaires use it like a compass. It helps them understand when to invest, when to exit, when to expand, when to hide, and when to prepare for the next global shift. This book is not banned, but if everyone understood it, many people would stop trusting the systems that surround them. And now that you've heard these 10 books, one truth becomes clear. Billionaires don't win because they are chosen or lucky. They win because they study the world from angles most people never consider. They read about systems, psychology, power, failure, risk, and long-term vision. They read deeply, strategically, quietly, and then they use that knowledge to make moves the world doesn't see until it is too late. But today, on Sethtra Books, that knowledge becomes available to you. Not to imitate the elite, but to rise above the limits placed on you. Not to chase power blindly, but to understand the world with clarity and strength. If this journey opened your mind, subscribe to Sethtra Books, where hidden knowledge becomes cinematic, where difficult ideas become clear, and where books transform the way you see life, power, wealth, and yourself. Learn, reflect, rise. Sethtra Books.